Good morning YouTube, and welcome to another video of my Inktober challenge. Today's word is sword, so like fighting and that, like stabbing and old-fashioned stabbing. It's all knives now, it's all shanks, but back in the day it used to be broadswords, which were quite cool but completely out of vogue now. Yeah, so what I've gone for is this. It's like a little Dungeons and Dragons character. Something I've never been into really. Something I don't know much about. But it's not a hobbit, which it looks like a hobbit, but it's not. So deal with that. Wetter. What's his name? Peter Jackson. Deal with that. It's not a copyright infringement.
So you might empathise with me on this, but I've got no experience with a sword. I've seen them, been to armouries and that, and they look great, they look lovely, but completely useless now, because there's better weapons to kill someone with. But yeah, my only experience with swords is through computer games. Used them loads in that. You can't move for bloody swords in computer games, so I'm going to talk about a few swords, yeah, or games to do with swords. So my first one is Soul Reaver. It's an old game on PlayStation 1, and I think they brought one out on PlayStation 2 as well, but I'm talking about the first one. And it was about this little vampire guy, and I only really liked it because of how he looked. Like, the game were pretty crap, to be honest. It wasn't brilliant, and I'm sure my version of it were broken, because I got stuck at one point and couldn't get past it and give up, because I'd looked throughout the whole world that they'd put in front of me over and over and over again and got nowhere, and I was like, right, well, I'm still stuck so I never saw the end of that game. And I'm quite glad that I did give up, because, you know, what's the computer got to gain from holding me back? Yeah, just let me win. Even if it does get stuck, even if it's like, you're not quite good enough, but you know what, you've paid for this game, go on, go through, who cares? But yeah, it were a cool little character design. He was like this little vampire guy, and he used to suck souls out of dead enemies. You get, you know, it's a computer game, what can happen? But yeah, he had this sword that like merged with his hand. It were weird. It were cool though, really. It looked amazing. I might check that game out again actually, see if it's any good now. Although looking back at PlayStation 1 graphics is like giving yourself glaucoma, I find. My second game is Broken Sword. Now, obvious link, it's got sword in the title, but that game, if you've never played that, I highly recommend it. I've played it many different times. Like, I played it when it had first come out. I went to some stranger's house, I can't remember why I were there. Right, weird story. My mum's mate, that she doesn't see very often, invited us around. When I were a kid, I were about 10, maybe. Went round to this house, and I didn't know anyone, and there were a few kids there, and there were this one kid playing on drums in cellar. Like, it were a bit of a posh house, it was massive. You know, I can see why my mum wanted to go. Anyway, big posh house, and a drum kit downstairs, and there's this lunatic child who ended up at school with me, playing drums proper loud. Like, he wasn't playing it, you know, he was just prattling about. Oh, hang on.
Bruce. Coming in.
boy. Good boys. He's a good boy. Oi! Give up just helping yourself, you. Come here. Des! Give up! Come on, out of there. Come on. Good boy. Desi! Sit. Sit down. Good boy. Give us your paw. Yeah! Give us your paw. Give us your paw. Good boy. Sit down. Use your paw. Give us your paw. There's a good boy. Good boy. Now your turn. Let me see you. Give us that paw. Give us your paw. Give me your paw. Good boy. Excellent boy. Go on then. Go. Go. Come on. Come on. It wasn't proper music that this kid were playing on drum kit, just whacking drums, you know, like Animal off Muppets. We were like that, but he were having a laugh, and I couldn't wait to get away from him. Like, I couldn't get away quick enough, so I was like, oh yeah, it's right good, is that? And then I like went, I'll just go get a drink, or I'll just go for a wee or something. And then I never came back. I left him down there, but I went upstairs then. Like, I were in the hall, and all adults were in the living room chatting about babies and boring stuff that a 10-year-old me was not interested in. So I was looking about like, what else can I do then? Because I'm not going back down with him. I'm going to have a look around and see what's going on. So I went upstairs. I helped myself. I was like, oh, I'll go upstairs here. And there was this bedroom door open, and there were a kid in there. Like, he were about 18. Well, maybe not 18. Maybe like 15. He was quite a bit older than me, and he were playing Broken Sword, and I loved it. Like, I walked in and I was like, what's this? And they're like, no, it's a point and click game. I'm like, what's point and click? So he showed me, and like, you know, you click on stuff, finding clues, and you work stuff out from the story that they reveal to you, and it's fantastic. And it looked great. That's what I liked about it. You know, it was released in the mid-90s, I imagine. Well, it must have been, because I had it in the mid-90s. So it was released then, but it looked like a proper cartoon, and I fell in love with it. So I got it that Christmas, and I played it over and over again and loved it, and I've played it again since. Like, I didn't play it for about 10 years, but then I noticed they brought an app out of it on the iPad or iPhone or whatever, and I got that, and I love it. And I later learned that it's a local game from near where I am in Bradford, and my mate Kez works for them. He works with their company doing like stuff for them, so that's pretty cool. Nice little link there. And link being the operative word is my final game. So Zelda, the Ocarina of Time, is probably my favourite game, and everyone says that. Like, you hear it online all the time, like, what's your favourite game? Oh, Ocarina of Time. Everyone says it, but there's a good reason why that is, because it is the best game. It's so good. Like, I haven't played the new one yet, the new Zelda, and I've heard very good things about that. I've heard it's as good as that, but nothing will conjure up the nostalgia that game gives me. If I hear one of those little, or the little, from that little fairy that he's got, oh my god, that just takes me back to being a kid. And it does every time. I bought the new version of it, the 3DS version, and I was in my element. It was brilliant. Like, just conjures up such good nostalgia for me. So that's my experience with swords. Like, one of them doesn't even have a sword to use in it. You don't experience using a sword. But Zelda, it's all about the sword, and that's why I've drawn a little wooden sword in this guy's hand, a little tribute to Zelda.
Well, there's another episode over. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll be back again tomorrow with a different drawing and a different story. So yeah, please join me. If there's anything you want to buy, click on the links down below. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I'd love that. And even if you don't want to like this video, you should like it because it helps me. And if you don't want to subscribe, then think again. You do want to subscribe because it's not going to stop at this. I plan on doing these 31 videos in this style, and then after that, who knows what's going to happen. I'm going to change things up and do it all differently. When I've got more time to make stuff, I'll use more time to make stuff. So brilliant. Thanks very much again, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
What wasn't even there.